myself until I'm good enough to sing.
So you want to have some assets for people to land on.
And when,
but you don't want to wait till you're finished.
Oh no, it's almost done. It will be out in 3 weeks.
Well, that's the website.
That's it.
Well, what I mean is you don't want to wait till all your content's ready.
No.
For launching your website and starting to drive traffic.
Exactly. So what I started to do is, and I have this is Instagram, but I have a lot of people follow me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm new at this. I never even wanted it, but what happens is,
are you posting all yourself, or do you have someone doing it for you?
No, it's personal. It's not work. It's a vibe I was trying to get. So I got divorced in 2018, and I never really posted. The only thing I would post is like, I'm in love, I'm married, I'm good. You know, it was just for my friends to know and people to not hit on me.
Right.
I'm
I'm healthy. I'm fine.
I'm fine. Yeah. And then when I got divorced, everybody got really worried. I got really sick for a while, and then I got divorced. So everybody was worried about me, rightfully so. I was like 85 pounds rocking in a corner. So by the time I got divorced and came through, it was like 2018, and I started posting light things online. Like, I'm very positive. I'm just an annoyingly positive person.
I hate that. I'm joking. What's your...
I'm going to give you both. Penny, which one do you want?
Penny?
Penny, Penny, Farbstein, Farbstein. And Mendelsohn, Menvel.
Too fast.
Yeah, I mean, which one are you going on, Facebook or Instagram?
I'm on Instagram at the moment.
Okay, yeah, so it's Penny Farbstein. There's no.
So are you dating now? Or are you not dating?
I'm dating a little.
A little.
He's like 33, so.
Well, 30.
I was married for
33 goes into 50. More than 50 goes into 33. That's an old Bette Midler line.
I like it, but I mean, I was married for over 20 years.
And what's the other one?
It's still Penny Farbstein. Penny Farbstein Mendelsohn. It's this. So when I started posting, I was posting to tell people like I'm fine. Like, here, look, I'm happy, I'm out. Here, look, I'm happy, I'm okay. And as I was doing that, people were starting to be like, oh, I see you're okay. And I saw my aunt a couple of months later, like at a holiday,
right.
You know, and I don't see my aunt or speak to her every day. And I was saying, like, she asked me how I was, and I said, no, I'm really okay. You know, I was worried that everybody was worrying about me.
Sure.
And so she goes, oh, I saw you're on Facebook and Instagram, your posts, I can tell you're really happy. And that's when I realized if I post this stuff, everyone will know I'm okay without having me to tell every single person. So I started posting, like annoyingly, you could just hear, like this is a perfect example. Oh, I have to log it into, do they have a Wi-Fi here?
They do.
But it's public.
Let's see. So it's called Sushi Vogue?
Ah, got it.
And I don't know if you need a...
I do. Do you have it in your phone? You might be able to share it.
I don't think it'll show...
Well, you can, now that I'll friend you, but I gotta go.
Yeah, well, that's right. I have it here.
Yeah, I know, but you can click on, some of them are public.
I'm requested.
Right, but I'm waiting, I gotta log on because it won't let me. Do you have a Wi-Fi?
Yes, we do. Just give me a minute.
Thank you. So, so I was just gonna say, like...
Oh, and you know my boy's contracting and Magritte. So we have people in the same circle.
Who? Who's the other one?
Marguerite is an author.
Oh, Marguerite.
Marguerite, yeah.
Oh, like the Connecticut author? Or?
Oh, well, I think she's a Long Island.
Oh yeah. I feel like I'm a geek. I read a lot.
Yeah, this
You
one.
asking for Wi-Fi?
Yes, please.
Sushi Young.
Yes, and
One word.
that's the
Password.
Sushi.
Yes.
And all lowercase. It went away. It was here. Yeah, well, there you go. Sushi as lowercase. Okay.
Young. Y-U-N.
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 Oh, sorry. That makes more sense. Sorry. I woke up there. I put in the wrong one now.
But you got it?
No, it's scrolling because I put in yun, not yum.
Close it. Button. And open.
This is me going online.
So Amy, by the way,
I'm Penny.
this is Penny.
Nice to meet you. I live in the neighborhood too. It's my first time here.
Oh, thank you.
And I love sushi.
And Penny's a commercial roofer.
What's that?
I do roofing.
Oh, roofing.
Yeah, I'm a roofer.
Oh, roofing.
I know.
starting-
Still a roofer. Oh.
I'm starting a YouTube. He's going to be doing my YouTube. I'm going to be the New York Roof Whisperer. It doesn't want to join this network. It's just mad at me. Thank you so much. So I just wanted to show you that I was like, I started, because I was always uncomfortable in front of the camera. So I started posting these things so everyone could see how happy like I am. And when my aunt said
So
it,
stop calling. Yeah.
but I also like to spew positivity, especially in the midst of like what everybody else, like, so I like put positivity like out there just to like be positive. Like if you're gonna say something negative, I don't want to read it.
Right.
That's all I am. So I started doing that, but I also started learning how to get comfortable and like making little videos for myself so I can get myself comfortable in front,
Right.
which I'm fine with.
Got it?
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
No problem.
And so when my aunt said that to me, I was like, I really need to do this. All right, so here, this is a perfect example of what I do. And it's a little bit of both.
So you're doing those as selfies, holding on to your phone?
This is, I make videos, but this is me just playing. It's just what I tried to put. Like it's just, this is just me. This is
Very
what
cool.
people know me as. Like I put up like inspirational quotes. And I just put like fun stuff. So like it was my dad's birthday the other day. And I posted, oh, this is cute. That's my dad. He turned 75 the other day.
That's awesome.
That's fun. So this is the only thing that the internet knows of me. So
Right.
even like some of my clients do, and my dad and I have been back and forth because I do post bikini shots.
Right.
Not too much, but just a little to remind people I may be a roofer, but I'm still a girl.
Okay.
And it is a weird, my dad doesn't like it, but I try to explain that I don't want to come off like butchy. Okay, I kind of want to be the girl on the roof, but not too girly.
Right.
And I'm in this weird little mix.
You've got a strange position, but you want to balance it.
Right, and I'm telling you all this, but it's kind of the only thing I have here. This was me at a work event, but I'm also a roofer.
What makes it a work event?
Oh, I was on a rooftop bar with all like clients. So it was a roof, but so now my clients get to see me kind of dressed up. So it's a little bit of things. So within a couple, like the last 2 years now, I'll be at like, I belong to charities, like the Ronald McDonald House. I'm on the board of that.
I do shoots for their golf outing.
You're in Westchester?
No,
Which one?
I think it was for, what's Matt? Do you know Matt?
Oh, I do.
Well,
I
don't
actually know
remember.
him.
Yeah, of course you do. He's the director of.
No, but he,
I think he's now the director of Manhattan, but at one time he was director out here.
because of his dad, right?
I don't know.
So they were my next door neighbors. Matt's sister is married to one of my. We were close for a while. It's been a while, but yes, I belong to it's one Ronald McDonald House in Manhattan.
Right.
It's called Happy Faces. It's on like 76th Street or something like that.
Right.
And I'm on the board doing just the golf outing. And
Really?
we do that, and then we do casino night.
So I did that golf. So not from Manhattan.
It's a different one. It's only one, yeah.
But if you need a photographer for that, that's one of my specialties.
And we're doing it. We used to do it at Sleepy Hollow Country Club. We did it for like 12 years. Then we moved to Westchester Country Club. You ever been? It's very, I could say, I'm Jewish, I grew up in Roslyn, I'm still a Queens girl, and that upper crust Westchester, we were at Westchester Country Club, and they were I did not like it.
It's a premium. Like my mother-in-law, who's 94 and dying in my living room, would not go to
St. the other one.
Encore Living because it's too uppity, because it's not her people.
Right,
They're all too old. She's 94, and those
my grandmother
80-year-olds
was
are all too old.
97. Stairs are for old people. That's what my grandmother used to say. She lived till she was 97. But exactly. But I'm not like. So we had the outing the last couple of years. I can hang out. I work with billionaires, but I'm still me. You know, I belonged to the Havana Club on the top of the Sixes. It's a cigar bar
Sure, I know.
for 15 years.
They also have one in the Carlton.
Yeah, and which they're closing.
They're closing the Carlton? I actually had not heard that. I know that they're closing
Havana.
Chateaubriand.
No, they're closed. Not the Carlton. They're just closing the cigar bar. So anyway, I live in this weird world, but I still like that upper crust. They were just too much for me. So when we were doing it, we moved from Sleepy Hollow. Have you ever been to Sleepy Hollow Country Club? I'm an architect and I'm a geek and I love real estate. And it's an old Vanderbilt mansion. And we stay, the people who help, we stay overnight for
Really?
a couple of nights. And to stay in that house,
That's awesome.
and not only that, we did it for 10 years. So I got to know the house. You know, I've been there for, 12 years straight, and like I know all the rooms. Like I'm
And you look forward to it.
I
Like,
did, and then we went to Westchester Country Club, and
it's impersonal.
Look, we did the outing though on the beach. It's at the in Rye. They have a beach club also. It's the only beach in Westchester, but the people like you weren't allowed to have a phone. Like you weren't allowed you weren't allowed to wear jeans on the property. You know, like I have to. I come from work. Like I had to change in the car because I couldn't even be in the parking lot wearing jeans. Like, what year is this? Come on, like, and it wasn't that. Like we got there and I was checking in and they were nice to me.
Do you use Larry Battaglia, golf event planning?
No,
Larry
my friend.
and Chris?
So, my friend, the people who are involved with specifically this Ronald McDonald's, most people that you know that are really involved have an experience.
Right.
So, one of my clients, he's a building manager, and I've known him for almost 20 years. His son and he had to stay there. His son had cancer. Well, his son's fine now. He's out of Cooper Union and he's got a great job. But
It wasn't always going to be that way.
Exactly. And in the Ronald McDonald's house, put him up. And he said, spend the rest of it. So he runs the outing himself. He does it all, like, he doesn't hire anyone, he does it.
Okay, that's a big task.
Well, it's but we all do it. So all of us chip in. And but that is his thing. It's kind of his passion. He has a real job. He has a full-time job. He runs he does mortgages for like $50 million things, and he runs buildings. But this is his passion.
Sure.
And so we all we've all been helping in some level, and we have like a big group of us that got closer and closer.
Right.
So meanwhile, he's back at Sleepy Hollow this year, so I'm so happy.
Is
So
he?
even if you just came, it's fun, and it's really like, it's one house, so you know everybody. It's not just Ronald McDonald's house. It's
Right.
And as they say, it's all about the kids, and it's just a special organization, and the fact that we're going to be back where I love.
Do you know the date for it?
Yes. October. We just got it like last week. October 10th. Day after Columbus Day. So that
I'm
is.
going to just put it on my
It's
calendar so I
awesome.
know
And it's so special, and it's like a really. Anyway, so that I was saying that I get involved with that, and then another charity. I don't even know why I went into charities, but another thing I'm involved with is Project to Cure. One of a good friend of mine. She owns buildings. Like she's a third generation building owner, by the way. Her son had a brain tumor, bad, pretty much at 4 or 5, almost like died on the table, and came back. And she watched this doctor bring him back to life and cure him. So when that happened and he came back, and it wasn't once, it was a bunch of times. He's now running her company. He's doing amazing, you know, and he's 25, 24. Alex, wow. Anyway, we've come a long way. So she opened up a charity solely for this doctor. So she has enough money to run her own. It's called Project to Cure, but every dime goes to this doctor, Mark Mittler. He's an amazing man.
I imagine that he does a lot of pro bono work.
He doesn't. This is all he does, is come up with ways to cure brain tumors in children, and he's at a 98%. That's what he does.
98%?
98%. So pretty much how I can only understand it is, he cured her son when it was at like 50 or 60. But what he really did in the end, you know how prostate cancer is like curable now with the seeds?
Before, up to a point.
Yeah, I mean, well, same thing. You know, if you find, I mean, everybody knows find it early, but if you can find it and you get it, like my dad had, you know, they cure it, you know, because of the seeds and the way they get the radiation and all
very
and
local.
Exactly, that's what he does. That's what he did with the brain. So he came up with the seeds that can go into a child's brain, and that's how he came up with it.
Shrinks the tumor,
And
cuts off the
all
blood.
the money she does. So whatever millions we've ever,
Sure, please.
and so whatever. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Andy said he's calling you back about, before I forget, because of the Diet Cokes, you like Diet Cokes like he does. He said he's calling you back about someone to be a speaker or something.
Oh, yes.
He said he's calling you back. He's been really busy, but he's going to call you back.
Are you in his Vistage group? You are?
Yeah.
Right.
And I just spoke to him. Like, I was on the phone with him on my way here telling him I was doing this and that you were awesome. So I was telling him.
Andy's awesome. I met him at Actually, I met him before BNI. I met him at the Plainview Bethpage Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, really?
When he was still doing travel.
Right. So, anyway, Project to Cure, every dime goes to him. Only him.
Well, but
There's nothing else.
But there's no reason to
It's
take
awesome.
it.
And then it's amazing. So,
And you know Terry, so if you're around here, you know Terry Magro, Michael Magro Foundation? It's another great charity. What they do, they lost a son to cancer when he was 12, and his brother had cancer at the same time. They had 2 kids with cancer, they lost one of them, and instead of folding, they created a charity. What they do is they raise money to donate to families that are facing the travel, they're not working, paying
like
for
the Ron
oil,
McDonald. Oh my God, I love that.
all that kind of stuff. So
love
it's a
that.
really good charity. I don't know where you are in terms of
Well, I'm
looking at charities.
also.
You sound pretty busy in books.
Yeah, I'm also doing. Well, I do a lot of work for Northwell Health. I do a lot of their roofs.
Right.
We're over in Syosset right today. Syosset, Plainview, Huntington, and Manhasset.
Yeah.
In Huntington, they have a center that raises money to help people who can't afford health care. And they actually just asked me to be on the board.
Sweet.
So, and I just love, I'm a mush. I like charities. I care, you know.
If you have the energy.
Energy? Have you met me for 20 minutes? Do I have energy?
1 year.
This is me 1 cup of coffee.
Oh, good.
And the 1 cup is 4:30 in the morning. That's it. Give me 2 of those. I'll be hopping off a wall.
One year, I did 240 hours of donated photography for the different charities here
I
and there.
love that. It's just,
It's tough. It could be draining.
it is draining. I don't overspend my time. I put in my time, but I'm not. And then I'm on a board of it's a nonprofit learning disabled children's school.
Which one?
Tigerman's.
No, I don't know.
So my dad's friend started it and owns it pretty much, and they have 5 or 8. It's either 5 or 8 So they just asked me to be on the board. So now I'm getting letters from the children. But why I really like them specifically is, they're mostly autistic. Everybody's
Right.
like a little on the spectrum. And I've had I have my moments. I think I'm in tune sometimes with people more on the spectrum than off.
Okay.
Like I was always good at math, but I think I was always a little quirky. I like it. But this class in high school in Richmond Hill specifically, like my favorite part of their organization is they have a school that's set up like a mall, right? And they teach these kids in high school how to work in a store.
Nice.
And it's set up so they can go shopping and learn how to sell. And they're real stores. So Tommy John sponsors it.
Tommy John, the baseball player.
No, Tommy John, Tommy Hilfiger. Tommy John, it's Tommy Hilfiger. It's one of his stores. He has it's Tommy Hilfiger. One of his clothing stores he has in the school. And he allows the kids to train in his, they sell. And then when they work, he lets them go to Huntington and work in his store.
That's
and not
awesome.
only that, they have to commute themselves from Richmond Hill, from Queens to Huntington. And it's a way to progressively get them there. And he allows them to intern and work in his store.
I think that's sweet. And
Isn't
Richmond
that
Hill is
amazing?
Yeah, and Richmond Hill is where I'm shooting tomorrow.
Well, I'm in the tri-state area. I know everything. I'm from Queens too.
Yeah.
I'm a freshman.
I don't know the address. An eye doctor. One of my clients.
So that's probably on 30th or Jackson.
Yeah. One of my clients is a management firm for ophthalmologists.
Cool.
So they send me Connecticut, New Jersey, Pennsylvania.
So when you do shoots, you do the people or you do them working?
Interestingly, mostly it's headshots.
Headshots. That's what I figured. But do they let you in to like take pictures of you working with their clients, or it would have to be like set up?
Working with the clients like the doctor yesterday is a LASIK surgeon.
Right.
So we
I
had
had
one
it.
of his people.
Huge fan.
One of his people came in and laid down on their
Okay.
foot for the shoot.
Well, that's cool.
But mostly headshots, the office, because they want to have, they're doing it for the website to introduce clients. You're coming
Yeah.
to us. This is what
I was gonna
that initial
Speaking
experience.
So I started going through, and it's really hard for me to find pictures because when you're 4 generations, they didn't have pictures.
Right.
And even, I have to tell you, I'm looking for old jobs. Even when I started, everything was, I threw away everything.
Of course.
This is my grandfather. So that's my dad's father. That's Harry. And he owned.
If you have a high resolution of this, and you want to
I
have
have
it.
the picture. I have the picture. I'll give it to you.
If you want it scanned and.
Yeah, I just took pictures of them for you to see it today. I love this picture because it kind of looks like me and my dad. That's mine and my dad's eyes. That is my grandfather, with my aunts in the picture in the background. So this is an old. This is in the.
But again,
40s.
he's in his suit, and it's not what people would think about for someone in the
And
construction
I
industry.
can't find any. And I found that's my dad and my grandfather, which is cute together. My dad, my dad's still around, but I cannot find.
Them in the field.
My dad I'll get. My dad I can probably
Yeah,
get.
but your grandparents and great
And
grandfather.
my grandfather was big. He was a businessman. My dad was out working for him since he was a kid until he went to Vietnam. Then he came back. But since he was a kid, my dad was like 14, 15 working. But my grandfather also did the 2 Twin Towers in Citicorp. So he wasn't the man on site.
Right.
My dad was, though. My grandfather put my dad to work. He actually never even allowed him to come to the office. So my dad was up, he always makes a joke, he was up doing the metal coping on the 2 Twin Towers.
Wow.
And he leaned over like that. I was like, okay, I'm done. And it was like done. And the Citicorp, I did a thesis in architecture school over the Citicorp building, which my grandfather did the roof. And the Citicorp building, when it was built,
Which was in the 70s?
that big,
The one in the city or the one in
the
Queens?
city. That's Citibank. This is Citicorp building. The Citicorp building is like this with the big roof.
Yeah.
So it's shaped like that. That's Citibank. It's a different kind. It's different. So the city court building was like this, and it looks like it's tilted because it is. So I actually did a whole thing. Like I said, I'm a geek. I love architecture, and for what it is, not that I want to be an architect. When they built the building, because I always loved construction, when they built the building, somebody made a mistake, and they messed up the welds on all the steel.
The
weld.
The what?
The weld.
The weld of the steel. The weld.
The weld. The formula of the steel and the weld. The actual formula. So when you think of architect, you think of someone building or an engineer, but it's all numbers. It's velocity, movement, and it's what can hold it together in spite of those things. Their weld, their steel calculations were wrong in the whole building. And so it started to lean. It started to fall over. But they didn't want. But they have a time limit, and it was the city court building. It was like one of the biggest buildings built. It's still part of the New York City line. So every night they snuck all the welders they can find in New York and fished out at night to redo every weld in the entire building.
Holy crap!
And nobody knew about it. I mean, this is before anyone knew about anything. But they redid all the welds and they fixed the building without anyone knowing. But because they either tried to cut corners or somebody wasn't paying attention, they lost, I think it was around, the contractor lost $4 million on the job. Not didn't make, they lost their shirts because of a calculation.
Right.
And when we see a calculation, you think of it, whenever someone thinks of an architect, they see like Mr. Brady.
Oh yeah,
like,
a ruler.
Yeah, or some guy who's going to point and design something. It's not what it is. It's all calculations. It's all velocity. It's all wind. And I loved architecture school, but I was horrible at design. So I went to architecture school to learn how to argue with architects. Because I was always on the job with my dad. So anyway, so that's a kind of... So when my dad started working for my grandfather, he was always out on site. But my grandfather really was he was one of the biggest roofers in all of New York, to the point where he started Puerto Rico as a tourist attraction and helped put up the first 2 hotels. So he was way even out of his own league.
So
he got lost in the business.
He was a business person.
He was a great salesman, but a horrible businessman.
Why, he didn't make money?
He ended up down in Florida. In the late 70s was the recession.
Right.
He didn't prepare for it. So, and he was big. He overshot his thing, and I think he also got too big for his own. We might be Jewish, but he thought it was Italian. So, he got too big for his own
right.
good. And so in the late 70s, he left New York and moved to Florida.
Closed up shop, closed up the business.
There's a lot of inner stories there that you don't want to say on camera.
Of course.
The 70s, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of movies. Goodfellas.
Of course.
Well, there's a Jew. That's him.
Oh,
So
okay.
he woke up and he's still alive. He was still alive in Florida, but my dad didn't know any. So my dad was 28 with 2 kids. Showed up to work the next day. My grandfather was gone. My grandmother picked
And somebody else owned the business.
He knew them.
Right.
When he showed up, they're like, David, go home. You're done. And that was United Roofing. So my dad was unemployed during the recession for a while, went door to door trying to get a job, and then finally called them and said, I need a meeting. And we sit down and talk. And so he had to sit down and talked with a bunch of people and said, you took my family, you took my livelihood. I don't want a favor. I just want a job.
Just want to work.
I just want a job. I want to go home to our family. I don't want to be involved in anything else. I want a job. My dad's an amazing person. And so this was going on to 1980. You're David, your family. Start a company, no problem. We'll give you a job tomorrow. It's 1980. And so the next day, my dad, David Farbstein, and his best friend, Kevin McCarthy, started McFar in 1980, and their first job was to change the seats in Shea Stadium.
Which is awesome. That's
Five
what I was
guys.
listening on.
So it was 5 guys. 2 guys still work for me. Two of the guys that were there.
Wow.
Changing the seats. And now I was 5, so I was running around. I was like a little scrappy a little version of me running around with the 1980 Mets for like a second. And my dad's a huge Yankee fan, so he was not happy about it. We had a box.
I'm with him.
He has a Mickey Mantle homage. His office is a homage. He has Mickey Mantle's bat. You know, like we had the sign that they hit. You know, like I used to buy it every year. His office is a homage to Mickey Mantle on Murderers Row. But he still loves Yankees now. My nephew and my dad travel together at least twice a year to see a Yankee game around the country. And my nephew's 21.
Right.
So it's really cute.
Very cool.
So they started that, and then my dad started working for Sterling Equities, who owned Sterling Equities. Was Fred
they owned the
Wilpon's
Mets.
partner.
Yeah.
But they also own a ton of buildings, and that's where my dad got his feet down. It was 1980 in New York, so he just built relationships and ended up doing like not union, privately owned buildings, and just going. And Kevin McCarthy was gone in like 3 months.
Was he?
He actually moved out east. He was like a carpenter. He didn't want anything to do with it was just, they were friends, they didn't work together really. And so he wanted nothing to do with that. My dad was born and bred, even though he went hungry. I mean, my dad, at one point, he was like hawking things to pay bills. It was a bad couple of years with 2 kids, a mortgage, and paying off my grandfather's debts. But by 1983, he moved us, because I was going to go to Jamaica High School.
Moved you to Roslyn.
Yeah, the idea was to either pay for private school or to get us to Long Island. And my dad was scared. He couldn't get a mortgage. You know, like it was like, where do we get the money? And so they like took the leap. And in 1983, they bought a house on Long Island, but could not. Like, they didn't even know how they were doing it.
Right.
And within 3 years, he paid off the mortgage.
Wow.
Yeah. So he worked. I mean, if he started in 1980, by 87, he had already started going into masonry. So he brought masonry in because the roofing just
Right. You need to have all the Bricklayers Union is actually the Bricklayers and Associated Crafts.
Right,
Union.
and that's what I was showing you before. Sheet metal is always around roofing. Tin knockers, I mean, ultimately, whatever. Tin Knockers Union. That's what it's called, the Tin Knockers Union.
Oh,
Sheet Metal Workers Union is called Tin Knockers, and ultimately that's what they do. But my great-grandfather, that's what he did. He built skylights. He was the epitome of the tin knocker, you know. And then, at one point he went into roofing, and my grandfather by war housing. 30s, 40s to 70s was all war housing, you know, schools, all these things, and then so roofs, everything was brand new.
That's right. There was the building boom.
Exactly.
And then the maintenance doesn't come for 20 years.
Exactly.
So
by the
lag.
87, the buildings that were put up, now those walls were unmaintained, because remember, whoever put them up was not maintaining them. We know, and this is the second, third, and fourth generation building owners that we have.
Right.
Tarred walls, everything's like a mess. So
Sure, they only spend the money when they have to.
yes, give or take. That's why they have local law 11, like where they make you inspect it and all those things. But so my dad brought in masonry because it ultimately it went in the same circle.
It's a very good tie-in because there's masonry around every commercial building.
Well,
on a roof.
ultimately, we're waterproofers, and we stop leaks. And the leaks come from the outside in. So most leaks, and like as I'll get into more, most leaks are caused not by the roof itself. They're usually caused by something that's in it, whether it's a vent, a hole, a drain, or a wall.
Well, yeah.
So the walls end up becoming the biggest problem for roofs. You know, or gutter, you know, like in homes. But for buildings, the perimeter is usually the cause. Or some tin knocker putting a vent through and drilling a hole in the roof. Most of the time.
You put a 3,000-pound air conditioning unit on a roof.
No, it's fine. It's the people that do it. They don't care. Nobody cares about a roof. They don't. So there's a great story. This is kind of my inspiration, and it's one of the stories I'll probably use, and you'll help me curtail it. So this is recent. North Shore Hospital.
Right.
I was working on one of them. I'm not on all of them, and I wasn't lucky enough to be on Long Island. I was usually working in Bronx or Brooklyn,
Sure.
running housing projects, especially for the last 10 years. So it was either my dad or my brother-in-law, they were running North Shore. So only recently am I getting more involved with North Shore because I own the company now. There's nobody to do it. So one of my foremen, the same guy, you'll meet him, his name's Jack, and he's been with my dad for 45 years. So he's known me since I was a baby, and I've been kicking him and punching him since I was born. And now I'm his boss, but he's a great guy. He also looks like Popeye. He
Okay.
talks like Popeye. He even has, he's family. His family's family. You know, his kids are my dad's godsons, you know. So he kept telling me they're doing a chiller project, which means they're replacing all of the chillers in the hospital in the basement. So this is
What's a chiller?
Like the stuff that cools the hospital.
Okay, so all the HVAC pieces.
Big units, though. We're talking about like $10-20 million units that are pipes this big to air filters. You know, because you're talking about a hospital.
Air, cold water.
All of it. And so it's a chiller room.
Okay.
And the room is this size, it's 2 of these restaurants. So you can only imagine the size. The pipes are this big. You know, big pipes and big units and big tanks. And they replaced. They're doing it in Huntington now, but they did it at another Northwell Health. And they were finishing the project, and I only knew about it because we put the holes in the roof for the vents to come out.
Right.
Like I said, you're only as good as the person who puts the hole in the roof. And he kept saying, the roof's really bad. The roof's really bad. And I was like, all right, just do, you know, vacuum it up and cut a hole, we'll be fine. So now the chiller project's over. We made it watertight, but I had never seen it. And we get a call from the head engineer and the person who's running this particular hospital, and they said there's a roof leak in the chiller room, like in the brand new chiller room.
Right, but is the chiller room down
Right below it.
So
The chiller room, okay, so a lot of hospitals, they have 1-story buildings
Yes.
with a roof above it, and then they can go up to like 20 or 30 stories. This is where it's a 1-story where there's a roof directly over the chiller room.
Okay.
And then like there's 2 extensions on each side, so you can't even see the roof, and nobody wants to know it exists, even the people that are working underneath it. And this is the struggle, this is where I am in this world. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the roof. You can spend millions, tens of millions of dollars on a unit. Nobody cares. And I'm talking about educated engineers, people who run buildings for a living. And this isn't their first rodeo. And we're talking about architects, designers, engineers, and workmen for almost a year. They worked on this project. And then they call me, there's a leak. Okay, you know what?
So where was
His
the
name was
leak?
Jack. So I go, let's go. So I show up. I go up on the roof. The roof.
What was the first thing you looked for?
The roof was filled with water this thick. You don't need an education for this. It was so bad, it was a swamp. There was rotten steel beams jutting out of the roof. You were stepping on, it was a waterbed. And all of the equipment was rotting and sinking into the deck. There's nothing to look for. You don't need any education for
That's
this.
the under roof. I don't know what that would be called.
No, it's the top, the bottom, the middle, and the under. The whole thing was horrific. And nobody needs an education.
And nobody
to know.
mentioned that when they were
Nobody.
cutting the hole in the roof
Nobody.
to put the pipes?
Nobody. And nobody even addressed it. They wrote permits, drawings. They're about to, the reason why they called me is because they were trying to close out the project. And I got up there and I go, no. I go downstairs. I was like, you, and the HVAC guy, let's go. Oh. Now, none of these guys met me. I'm new. So they knew Jack, they knew my dad, but they never actually met me. And I have to hone myself in because I can come out a bitch, harsh, lecture, and you're talking about engineers.
We don't want to hear from
No,
them
they're
anyway.
egos, you know, and I will disrupt an ego. So I was like, let's go. Everybody comes up, we walk on the roof, and they're all like, oh my God. But, so, seriously. So I walk down, and this is what you're gonna have to get me doing. I touch the roof. I go, this is modified bitumen, and I get my hands dirty. I rub it, and I say, you see this grease? See this oil? This is disintegrating your roof. Your roof has delaminated and disintegrated from the inside out. And I stick my hand in the roof and I pull it up. And they're all like, whoa. Then I bring them over to the steel, the rotten steel, delaminated, where it's jutting. And I'm showing that the grease, the oil, and all of the temporary repairs that we didn't do, the good stuff, you can see what I did, and it's already being disintegrated because of what's sitting on that roof. But even all the temporary repairs that they made, so I brought them through the physics of their roof. What kind of roof they have, what they've done to it, and what needs to be done. And it's about 45 minutes of bringing them through, showing them pitch packets, water, understanding what to do and how to address it. And then I'm like, okay, Penny, pull yourself back, let's go. I'm like, how much did I bruise these egos right now? You know.
But at the same time, you saved them a tremendous amount of course you did.
Well, I mean,
because
right now,
if they would have continued to do additional work, it would all be in the garbage because the roof was falling apart.
It's just so much worse than that. The fact is, how did you get this far and ignore the most important part? That's what I want to know. Like, so I'm saying, like, really? I put myself in, I'm like, really, guys? Really? This is how you're going to leave this project? Like, come on. Okay, rant's over, done, like that. And I'm like, we're anyway. But really? You know, I can't even. And the guy, I picked a nice group of guys, but one of them was, foreign even. So, I mean, a woman, a little girl running around.
Are these your team?
No, this is the
team.
hospital's engineers and the people who designed the room below.
How they could have done that without looking at the top is...
How? No, but how are you in business and how are you an engineer that ignores... No, but it's not these people. It's everybody. Everywhere. Whether it's a home, a building, or a hospital, nobody pays attention to the roof. It's the weirdest thing. And this is what we're going to do. So I looked at them, I go, okay, I'm done. And the guy, the head engineer, he was brought to this building to run the building and this project for 3 years, and he's about to close out the job and leave. And he looks at me and goes, wait. Can you do me a favor? Can you replay this whole thing on YouTube so I can take notes? And I was like, Roof Whisperer or Penny for your roof? And all of them put their hands up and go, Roof Whisperer. And the other guy, I've known him. This is the HVAC guy. He's been doing it, he's my age. Been doing HVACs like this in hospitals for 20 years. He goes, I just learned more about a roof in an hour than I have in a lifetime. Can I watch that? And then the head of the hospital, that particular hospital, was like, can you come to my office so I can write some of this down? And then they asked, can you send a report of what you just said?
Yes, that report's important.
Right, so I sent pictures and I blew up the pictures and I write all over them in marker. This is bad. Like rotten steel is really bad.
What did it take to fix that roof? Replacing the whole roof, right? That added a whole nother
But
piece.
by the way, if they spent $10 million, you know how much that roof is going to cost? What's going to cost? Even I have to do asbestos, and I rip asbestos. So a lot of old roofs, they have asbestos in them. But I have my own license because I don't like people ripping my roofs. It's just a mess. So my guys actually put on suits, rip the roof, and then take them off. Maybe $250,000.
It's nothing.
It's not the money. Nobody thinks about it, and nobody cares. There's no education. There's no standards of practice other than the NRCA, which nobody is held to. There's no legal guidelines of roofing. And the only people who set them are the people like John Mansfield who make the warranties.
Right, they warranty the roof.
The people who are selling the material are the only people teaching it. The only people who spec it are engineers who have no education in it. So there is actually no standards, no teaching, and no practices other than people who are untrained and only salespeople. And then the people like a union, they're taught just like somebody else. They're a journeyman. But again, you're talking about passing something down from generation, and they're passing down all the wrong habits too. So when I was in architecture school and I was 19, I did a whole lecture on roofing.
And was there part of the program on roofing specifically?
Absolutely nothing. And I did
And you were doing external work.
Yep, I did it, and I did a full presentation where they put me in a stadium. And I put a suit and made booklets and taught a class at 19 years old when I was working for my dad all about roofing. And I became the roofer chick in college. All of the adjuncts and the teachers hired me when I got out. And I used to be sitting in class and students would knock on the door and say, "Is Penny here?" And I'm like, "Yeah." You're like, "Oh, Dr. So-and-so said we needed to talk to you because you knew more about roofs than anyone." I'm talking about when I was 19. Even the teachers in architecture school said, "We don't know." I taught them. I got awards. I had like an award up in a hallway for a year in architecture school because I'm the only person. I did a whole thing on drainage. They don't even know. And one of the teachers I worked for, he designed a building in Kings Point where the entire roof was pitched to a sliding door off the water in Kings Point. Yeah. And I put the roof on. And I was like, "You're an idiot." Like, what are you doing? It was just, nobody cares. Nobody cares, nobody knows to care, and nobody teaches.
So when you're doing your program in New York Whisperer, you'll never say that.
No.
Because you don't want to insult your audience. You want to get your audience to buy in, so you want to tell people to pay attention to the things that they don't without insulting them.
It won't be an insult. It's just going to be like, it's time for everybody to learn. I need to show my credibility without insulting.
Right.
I'm not going to demean them.
Well,
but even like why I said I told you the story, but then for you to cut that up, like even for me.
Well, sure. But, so it's an opportunity to say, okay, well, what are we telling people? And what you want to tell people is all the things that they should do and not the things that they're doing wrong.
Okay.
All right, you don't want to say that people are doing this wrong. You don't want to say that people don't care. You want to say that this happens without assigning blame.
This happens because they don't know better, and I won't use the word teach, and I don't know better, but the way to say it, that's what I spent all that time. I took the word teach out.
You want some lunch?
Yeah, sure. What's your thing? What's your favorite?
Well, my favorite thing here is the...
I like raw sushi. The more raw, the better.
Okay, so they have a sushi sashimi lunch combo, which is really good. I get it tuna only because as many times as I've been to Japan, I still really only like tuna. When it comes to sushi, I don't eat fish.
Oh, really?
Not really. I'm a diver, so... By the way, this is all my work. You haven't had
I know.
a chance
I was looking.
to...
No, when I walked in, I did. It's amazing.
And it goes all the way right even into the ladies' room. That's the one piece here that's not mine.
Yeah, I figured that. But when I walked in, I saw it, and those are really beautiful. I love the play on the color. I will bring you one day. It's a little sushi place in Huntington.
Oh, which one? I know.
Umami. They used to be Leaky Sushi. The guy used to be Leaky. This guy gets... I don't know. Let's see how they're raw. This guy's tuna. I've only had this one tuna that he gets at Nobu. So when the tuna, it's the Toro, the white tuna, when it hits my tongue, it melts. And there's certain things, I like other sushi, but for tuna, if you like tuna, this is Nobu Japan. Like this is it. But other than that, I like salmon too. I'm a salmon.
So when it's cooking, salmon makes me sick. The smell of salmon.
I can understand that.
We could trace it all the way back to when I was a kid, about 5 years old. We were moving, so we stayed with my grandparents for for a week in between the move while everything was moving. And inside my grandmother's refrigerator was a big plate of salmon croquettes that I thought was veal cutlets.
Oh my God. Oh,
And since then, I can't do anything. I can eat lox, but other than that, I can't do anything with
lox
salmon.
is good.
Oh yeah,
Well, there you go. Then you're not that bad. You just yeah.
not terrible.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I'll get food. I'm like a sushi buff.
So I do have a friend who doesn't like the uni. Is it the uni here? The sea urchin. Well, the sea urchin. If that looks like that's a sea urchin.
They don't like it here, or they don't like it in general.
They like it He says it's his favorite thing, but he doesn't like it here.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
And I don't know why that is.
It's their supplier.
I think it's his
pick of
taste
fish.
buds.
What?
I think it's his taste buds and medication.
Oh well. But if he likes it somewhere else, then it's not.
Yeah,
Or maybe he's just. I don't know. You know what?
you never really can tell. But because he's had what he believes is a bad experience with that, I just let people know.
It's funny. I was always a seafood person. I never ate like cold cuts, and I wasn't a huge meat eater unless I ate like a piece of steak, But I mean, I was a vegetarian, like a pescatarian for like 10 years. Only because I thought the steak or the chicken was hurting me, not because I love animals, but I'm not killing them. They're already gone.
My wife is currently vegan.
Right, and I've been 10 years, but now I love lamb. I mean, I can eat lamb.
Good lamb chops.
Yeah, there's nothing better than, or even like, give me a giant. I love it all. I like
lamb.
meat. Give me veal and lamb are my favorite. The two the two ones that I would want to hurt the less. But one year, like I want to say 10 years ago, somebody showed up at my house, and they brought shrimp, and the shrimp was bad. And I smelt it, and let me tell you something.
It smells like ammonia when that happens.
It was so far past that. I still have, and I'm like a fish person. So my mom used to wake up every morning and make me tuna fish for lunch because I hated peanut butter and cold cuts.
Right.
Feed me tuna fish. That or crab meat. That was it.
Okay.
She would make the fake crab meat out and tuna fish every day. I can still eat tuna fish, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It's just, I love it.
I don't do it for breakfast, but I can do it for lunch or dinner with a little bit of on toast, a little bit of chopped onion.
Anyway, it doesn't even matter. I like Italian tuna. I get the jar of really good Italian tuna. I am good for
with the lemon oil and parsley.
I like it all. I love tuna, but that ruined fish for me for a while.
Yeah.
I even had a hard time eating lobster. Like I couldn't. It was so I know what you mean. Like. So this is my first time here. So like I like sushi and sushi. So I figured he said you would give me like a variety, unless there's something else you want me to taste.
Would you like to try the lunch special?
Right, but is there anything else I would want to taste that's not on there?
You want to taste it, but not on there? Touch sushi?
Do you have like a duck appetizer?
Oh, duck wraps.
The Saigon.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
I like all of it. You can give me whatever you want.
Or mango duck salad?
You don't have juicy dumplings, do you?
Juicy
Like the little soup dumplings?
The soup dumplings.
I love it.
No, we have the pork bun, but not juicy.
No, yeah, I was just thinking, like, a couple of things.
A little.
We could get the duck. I love duck.
Okay.
You want to get the Saigon duck? Or the tuna?
How about the duck wrap?
Okay.
That's good for two people?
It's a roll cut like 8 pieces.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And then are you getting tuna or something?
Yeah, I'm gonna have the sushi sashimi combo tuna only,
Okay.
and I'll have shrimp tempura roll with that.
Ooh, look at you.
You will do regular rice or purple?
Purple rice, please.
What's purple?
Purple color rice. It's
That's-
more healthy. It's like brown rice, but here you do purple.
Oh, I don't want the brown. I like white rice. I don't want
You
brown.
like
I don't like brown.
No, well, so it doesn't taste like brown, and it's
No, brown hurts my stomach. I like white. I'm not good with the brown rice. It doesn't like me. I don't like it. Yeah, I'll take sushi lunch, whatever that is. That's fine, right? Just
choose a roll.
I was gonna get a fun roll.
Roll here.
I'll pay more. I like just because I've never been here. I might want to try something that's really. I don't like any cooked. What's a really good roll without anything cooked in it?
Is there a Jericho roll? Do you have the Jericho roll?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that?
a regular roll here.
No spicy. See, I like all pure.
And if you like spicy,
No, I
never
don't.
get spicy. We get the spicy mayo on the side.
Right, that's what I like. I'll get that, but I don't like any chopped up. I like everything in its pure form.
Yes.
Oh, you can think about Christmas. It's
Tuna, salmon, avocado, perfect. Tuna and salmon,
Yeah,
perfect.
That one no chop.
But I was just seeing if you had something fun.
They have one with mango.
Yeah, it was just a wasabi Hulk roll.
This is mango tango roll.
Oh, yeah, I'll get that. Actually, you know what? Do they have I'll get like a yellowtail roll.
Yeah, well,
They
yeah.
probably have really good yellowtail. Do you like yellowtail? Because yellowtail's tuna, right?
Yeah, Yellowtail's a tuna. They actually he gets his tuna from Spain. And he just got a delivery today.
Really? Of tuna, not yellowtail.
Yeah, tuna, not yellowtail.
So maybe I should get a tuna roll then. I'll get that. I'll get the Christmas tree roll.
Christmas tree.
Tuna and salmon.
Okay.
Perfect. And can I have a Tobiko roll also?
Tobiko.
Sushi.
Sushi with over the rice, right?
Yep.
The red one or the
Oh, wait. Tobiko's the big eggs, right?
no, the Tobiko is small one.
What's this? Matsugo?
No, that's Ikura.
Ikora. Can I have an Ikora sushi roll?
Okay.
I always say that.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I
Cindy.
You're welcome.
instead of using soy sauce, I dip it in caviar. I dip my sushi in caviar instead of soy. I don't know. I have my own rules.
Nice. I like my spicy mayo, my wasabi, and my soy sauce.
Yum.
In fact, I probably would never ever eat sushi if it wasn't that I could dip it in the soy sauce wasabi.
I'm a dipper.
I like that.
I like dipping. I mean, I'll just eat pita chips so I can dip it in something. I like dipping.
Cool. I like finger food. And in Japan, my friend would tell me not to use chopsticks. Sushi is a finger food.
It is. I agree.
Here not so much.
When I was young, one of my best friends was Chinese. So, like, since I was like 5, and I went to her house when I was a kid. In our family, so I always loved different cultures, And I always took my shoes off, and I learned how to use chopsticks when I was about 5. So whenever my parents, because we were in Queens, we
Yeah, I'm Brooklyn Jewish. I grew up with chopsticks before we had forks.
Right. So I used to order, but my parents still don't, but I used to order in Chinese restaurants in the 70s and 80s chopsticks. And I would do it. My parents were like, look at her. Like, nobody used it then.
Right, that's right.
And it's a late 90s
now
thing.
every place you go.
So, yeah, I think I filled you in a little. What I need to hone in on. There's just thank you so much.
You're welcome.
There's just like a sprinkling.
Do you have your chopsticks?
Yep. There's just like a sprinkling of stories that I need to figure out how and why and when to put them. Just to bring heart.
You don't need to know where you're going to put them. What you need to do is you need to build your catalog, and then you pick and choose based on what you're showing and how you can relate things to it.
And that's what I normally do.
So I'd like you to work on getting a list of fun facts and definitions.
That's what I'm doing. A lot. A lot. I'm cataloging.
Look, anytime you say something that is an industry term that the layperson wouldn't know, like the chill room, needs to have an explanation.
Okay.
And you should just have a standard list of definitions where you go through. Here's all the parts of this type of. Here's the type of roof. Here's all the different parts. When you talk about flashing, learn more about flashing with this link. Learn more about flashing with that link, because you don't want to. repeat that same information because you're going to talk about flashing almost every time you put together an episode.
Right.
Every roof. Oh, look, let's go check the flashing. Right? Is that the first step or one of